So today we are learning about solving quadratic equations by the quadratic formula. So we have our standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c equaling y, or 0, in order to solve. And the quadratic formula we see in this bubble here, we have x equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So that means I can literally input from our form here, from our standard form, our a in for the variable, our b and our c, into this formula, and you'll get your solutions. So instead of graphing where you get your x-intercepts, instead of factoring and then solving, instead of using square roots, and instead of completing the square, this is our other method of solving quadratic equations by using a formula. Some of you are going to love this. So here's an example. We have 5x squared minus 9x minus 2. Let's see if we can get closer on that. Okay, and so my a value is 5, my b value is -9, and my c value is -2. Super important that I have this form, ax squared plus bx plus c. So I plug in for b, -9, I plug in for a, 5, and I plug in for c, -2. Went in the wrong order. Okay, so anyway, the opposite of b, the opposite of -9 is 9, plus or minus the square root of b squared, -9 squared, minus 4 times 5 times -2, all over 2 times 5. So then I do some math. -9 squared is 81. -4 times 5 is -20 times -2 is +40. So then I have positive 9 plus or minus the square root of 81 plus 40. In my denominator, 2 plus 5 is 10. Okay, keep going. Under my radical, I should add 81 and 40 is 121. And now I have 9 plus or minus the square root of 121 divided by 10. Now the square root of 121 is a perfect square, so I can take the square root of it. If I couldn't, you would then either leave it like this, or, depending on what the answer says, you would use your calculator or your estimation skills to simplify this, and then we would get a decimal place to like the hundredths or something, depending on the answer, what the directions of the problem says. The square root of 121 is 11. So then I have, if you look down here, 9 plus or minus 11 divided by 2. So I have two things. I've got 9 plus 11 divided by 10 and 9 minus 11 divided by 10. So I have 9 plus 11, that's 20. 20 divided by 10 is 2. I have 9 minus 11, that's -2 divided by 10, which is -1/5 when you reduce it. So my two solutions, my two x-intercepts, is 2 and -1/5. And that's my answer when we solve. Good. Remember, you're pausing at any moment that you need to. Number 2, ignoring number 3. Number 2, I have here 5x squared minus 3 equals 4x. Now this one was different because I didn't have equals 0. So you need to subtract 4x from both sides. And then you have 5x squared minus 4x minus 3. Now I specifically placed this -4x in between my 5x squared and my -3 so that I have ax squared plus bx plus c equaling 0. Has to be in that order in order for you to correctly put your variables in the right places. So now my b value is -4, so I'm placing my b's with -4. Then my a value is 5, so I'm plugging in a 5 for both of those a's. And lastly, my c value is -3, so under that radical where there's a c, I'm placing a -3. Let's go a little closer. So now I have the opposite of -4 is 4, plus or minus the square root of -4 squared minus 4 times 5 times -3. So now I do some math. In the denominator, I have 2 times 5. So 2 times 5, that's 10. Let's not forget about it. Now I have 4 plus or minus. Negative 4 squared is 16. Negative 4 times 5 is negative 20 times negative 3 is positive 60. 16 and 60 is the square root of 76. So I have 4 plus or minus square root of 76 divided by 10. Again, without a calculator, we don't have a perfect square. We can't really go further. But if you use your calculator, you have 4 plus the square root of 76 and 4 minus the square root of 76 divided by 10. So I have my two answers, 4 plus the square root of 76 divided by 10, which is approximately 1.27, and 4 minus the square root of 76 divided by 10, which is approximately negative 0.47. Okay, so now I have my example 2 here. I want you to try example 3, ignoring all my work that I see there. Maybe I can move. Oh, don't look. Okay, so I have number 3 says, pause it here, 9x squared plus 3x equals 5. Pause the video here, try this one, and then when you're ready, hit play. So now I'll move out of the way. And I have here, I need to get equals 0, so I subtract 5 from both sides, and I have 9x squared plus 3x minus 5 equals 0. So my A value is 9, my B value is 3, and my C value is negative 5. So the opposite of negative B plus or minus square root of B squared minus 4AC. Let's get closer on that without that glare. Okay, looking here. So now I have positive 3, so the opposite of positive 3 is negative 3, plus or minus square root of 3 squared minus 4 times 9 times negative 5, all over 2 times 9. Then I have negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 9 plus 180. 3 squared is 9. Negative 4 times 9 is negative 36. Negative 36 times negative 5 is positive 180. 9 plus 180 is 189. So I have negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 189 divided by 18. That 18 came from 2 times 9. Kind of looks like a 7 right here. That's a 9. Let's fix it. Super important. Pay attention, not while you're writing. So anyway, we have 2 times 9 is 18, and that's 18 in our denominator. So now we have here, if you look here, we have two answers, negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 189 divided by 18. So my first answer is negative 3 plus square root of 189 divided by 18. And I wanted to show you, this might be better. Instead of here we jumped, we put it all in. The square root of 189 is about 13.7. So when I add negative 3 plus 13.7 and divide by 18, I get about 0.59. And here, negative 3 minus the square root of 189 divided by 18, that's like negative 3 minus 13.7 divided by 18, and that is approximately negative 0.93. Okay, so these answers are approximately, because they're not exact, and we're going to practice some more problems after this. Great job.